Hey guys, so in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I created this dip powder manicure using dip top coat as a base coat. So let's get right into the video. Alright, so I'm first starting off with my Clean and Prep Natural Nails, and I'm going to go in with a thin layer of my Sparkle & Co. pH Prep liquid. And this is going to dehydrate the nail surface and prep it for the dip powder application. Then I'm going to follow that with a thin layer of my Holo Taco Peely base coat, and this is going to allow super easy pop-off removal of my dip powder manicure. So I'm going to apply a nice thin layer of this to all of my nails, and then let it dry completely before moving on. So here is the dip shade I'm using. It is from Jude Nails It Dip Powders, and it is in the shade Kayla, and it's a super beautiful pink and gold flake in a milky white base. And I'm also going to be using my dip powder container to make this process a little bit easier. So I'm going to pour out the dip powder into my container, and then get started with the dip application. So like I mentioned, I'm actually going to be using a dip powder top coat as a base coat, and someone in my comments suggested me to try this technique out to see if it worked, to see if you can use a top coat as a base coat, and I thought it was actually a really interesting idea, so I wanted to go ahead and experiment. So I'm applying a nice thin layer of the top coat to the entire nail, dipping into the powder and tapping off any excess. So right away, I didn't notice much of a difference in consistency, and that is basically due to the fact that dip powder top coat and base coat are technically the same thing. They are both a glue or resin, meaning that they have the same chemicals and ingredients. Typically, the only major difference is the top coat dries slightly faster and does have more of a shiny finish. But I honestly had no issues with it drying too quickly. I did try to work a little bit faster just because I knew that the top coat would dry quicker, but I didn't have any issues with it drying and being patchy on the nails. So here is what the first coat looks like, and since I'm using a flake dip powder, I'm going to take my Solidify liquid, which is an activator, and gently just tap down the flakes to melt them into the dip powder base. So I'm just going to repeat that onto all of my nails, and one thing I do want to say, I do think this technique does work, so spoiler, yes, I think you can use a top coat as a base coat. However, I would recommend just using a regular base coat if you have one, because it is slightly easier to work with, and I don't know how this product will wear. Typically I can say that the dip powder base coat will wear for a few weeks or so, but I haven't actually tried to wear these nails out with the top coat, so I can't speak on the longevity, so just keep that in mind. And now I'm going in with a second coat to get full opacity with the dip shade. On the second coat, once again, I had no issues, and I'm just making sure to pat those flakes down into place. And just like the dip powder base coat, these nails weren't super thick and they did have a pretty strong feeling, so like I said before, they do work pretty much the same. So now, since I'm done with the color, I'm going to pour any of the excess back into the original container. And now I'm going to be using my Sparkle & Co. DP90 powder, and this is a clear, and I will be using it to clear encapsulate all of the nails. Now, this is a crucial step, especially when using a flake powder like this one, just because you don't want to take off any of those flakes or tear down any of the color. You want to keep it nice and intact. So this clear layer is going to protect the color underneath from the file and make sure we don't take any excess off. So I'm just going to apply another thin layer of the top coat and then dip into the powder and tap off any extra. And once all of the clear is on, I'm going to brush off any excess on the skin and nails, and now I'm going to activate all of the nails using my Sparkle & Co. Solidify liquid. So I'm going to apply 2 generous layers of this to all of my nails. And I want to say I had no issues with the activator hardening the top coat liquid and powder. It worked just like the base coat and none of the powder came off in clumps. So after going ahead and filing, I'm going to apply a nice thin layer of my favorite Model 1's gel top coat. And this is going to add a super glossy shine to all of the nails and really bring out the color of the foil. So I'm going to apply a nice thin layer, wrap the free edge, and then cure for 30 seconds once I'm happy with the application. Then, after curing all of the nails fully, I'm going to rehydrate my skin and nails using my laylarain cuticle oil pen. And here is the finished dip manicure I was able to create using dip top coat as a base coat. So I really do like how these nails turned out. This JNI powder turned out super cute and I love the shade. And I will have everything linked in the description in case you are interested. So overall, I do think this technique worked. I was happy with the turnout and I do recommend it if you don't have a dip base coat on hand. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a like and subscribe down below, and I will see you in the next one.